Hi everyone, Mikey79 here and welcome to this special deck tech video because this video is about the deck that I will be playing for the couple of weeks to come in the Xbox One tournament. Now the Xbox One tournament is hosted by Kreider. If you haven't checked him out, he has a YouTube channel of his own, make sure to do that. There's a link on my YouTube channel right here, so make sure to check him out. He makes some great videos, plays Magic Duels really good, and yeah, lately he's making a bit less content, but that's because he's too busy with the tournaments and everything. Because it's not only on Xbox One this tournament, but also on Steam. There's also a tournament that starts at the same time. That's this week. Anyway, you can find every bit of information on the tournament on the forum of No Goblins Allowed or on the Reddit subforum. I shall put links to those threads in the description box below. Now, so the Xbox One tournament, maybe you guys know it or maybe not, but I have participated in the beginning of the year. I think it was in the Hakumite. It was a tournament hosted by Hakim. You guys probably know him, and I had a blast that time. I didn't get far, but I really enjoyed testing the deck like that and playing against other real good players, and yeah, it was just fun and a good experience for me. So I'm glad I'm in this one, and I'm curious how far I will get with this deck. Now about the deck, it's my old Esper control deck that I am going to play. So don't expect a fast deck. It's going to be slow wins if I win, and I hope I can survive with this deck and show you guys some good gameplay with it. Now of course it's been a long time since I posted the original video of this Esper deck. I never stopped playing it. I always fine-tuned it a lot, and especially last week I've been playing it a lot for preparation of the tournament, of course. So yeah, it looks quite a bit different than the last video that you've seen of it. Now the win conditions are still the Planeswalkers. It's not actually a Super Friend deck neither. It's more a control deck with 4 Planeswalkers or something like that as a win condition. 4 or 5. Okay, but let's check out the deck. Okay, so first we have Baby Jace here. I play a lot of instants and sorceries, so his second ability when he transforms into his Planeswalker form is pretty good. His +1 can hold back a bit of aggro if it's necessary. And yeah, the emblem is nice, but it's not what we're going for. When he's in the creature form, he's also a looter, which is pretty good in this archetype. Then Blessed Alliance from the new expansion, pretty good control card, pretty awesome. For 2 mana, it replaces Celestial Flare actually. That one was for 2 white, this one is 1 generic and a white, so easier to cast. And if you escalate it, you can do a few things more. You can gain 4 life, which is significant in a control deck, and untap up to 2 target creatures is an ability that we won't be using most of the time because we don't play lots of creatures. Then Telling Time, yeah, I still like this card. I know other players prefer taking inventory, but earlier in the game I preferred this one. I don't have much mana fix. I do have a bit of it, but I don't have lots of it, so it helped me get a land early in the game, or a threat later in the game, or a solution. I still like it, and yeah, it's instant speed, and that's actually also pretty important to me in this deck. Then Declaration in Stone. Yeah, you guys know this one. Exile target creature and all other creatures its controller controls with the same name as that creature. And if it's a non-token, what am I saying? That player investigates for each non-token creature exiled this way. If you exile tokens, he doesn't get clues. Then Pilgrim's Eye. Yeah, I think this is a bit necessary. I do play 3 colors and I do play the almost every color double color sooner or later, so I think it's important to get my mana fix going on. And Pilgrim's Eye is a great little jump blocker, and yeah, it gets me my lands, so yeah, he does what he needs to do. He replaces Silver Ranger. Of course, Silver Ranger wouldn't be playable in this deck because it's green, but yeah, for 1 mana more, yeah, you get a flying Silver Ranger, and it's easy to cast because it's colorless. So you just have to get up to 3 mana and then you're good to go. Then I played 2 copies of the Reflector Mage. First I was to 3 copies, but yeah, I dropped 1 copy for other cards. Reflector Mage, powerful bounce card, 3 mana, a white and a blue. And when we bounce a target creature of our opponent, he can't play it until my next turn. So yeah, pretty strong because it isn't, you don't lose a card because you get a creature on board. So normally bounce spells is in an when it's in an instant or a sorcery form, you go down on card advantage because you just give the card back in your opponent's hand and you lose a card. With this, at least you get something on the board. It's a 2/3, it's not big, but in this case it can be a nice blocker or a little attacker. It's both nice. And other than that, you not only bounce it, you just can't cast it that turn. So you can't recast it, so that's pretty powerful. Really good card. Then Oath of Jace, 3 mana. Yeah, we're gonna draw some cards. We're gonna look for threat solutions or land or whatever we need at that time, and then we're gonna discard 2 cards when we do that. Now at the beginning of our upkeep we can scry X, where X is the number of planeswalkers that we control, so pretty powerful Oath, really like it. Then Imprisoned in the Moon, I suspect to see a lot of planeswalkers in this tournament. I don't think there are that many decks that go without them, so yeah, there will probably be a few aggro decks, but I don't expect too many of them. Maybe some human deck or a vampire deck, maybe, I don't know. Anyway, it can also enchant creatures, so it's not only for planeswalkers. So basically your opponent is getting a land, which is okay if we can get rid of an annoying planeswalker. Then Oath of Liliana, I think she is also a pretty good Oath. For 3 mana, 1 black, we get an enchantment, and when she enters the battlefield, our opponent has to sacrifice a creature. Now, it's actually kind of a flashback, only it's on our opponent and not each player. And then at the beginning of each end step, if a planeswalker entered the battlefield, we get a 2/2 black zombie, which is great to defend our planeswalkers. So yeah, pretty decent Oath, I like it. Then all 3 copies of Murder, yeah, instant removal, destroy target creature, no drawbacks, awesome removal card. Then Anguished Unmaking, an even better removal card because it removes every problem that you might have, except hexproof creatures, of course. 1 generic mana, a white and a black, instant speed, exile target non-land permanent, so you get rid of it for good. But you lose 3 life, but usually that's not big of a deal. Then Liliana, the Last Hope, yeah, a 3 mana planeswalker, and she is pretty powerful. She can defend herself in a slightly better way than Baby Jace does, because she also gives -1 on the toughness. The second ability, we won't be using that in this deck because we almost don't play any creatures. If there is a creature in the graveyard that we really need, then we can get it back this way, but most of the time we won't be using it. So what we're gonna do is build her up to her ultimate, and the -7 wins us the game on its own. So if we can get up to that, on turn 3 it's a really powerful play because it's really early and your opponent has to deal with her. Then Suppression Bonds, a bit of the same reason as the Imprisoned in the Moon. It's actually for planeswalkers, but it's not only limited to that. You can shut down annoying enchantments or creatures like Ulamog or something, for example. Then Languish, yeah, a good control deck needs sweepers, and Languish is still a great one, especially against spirits or humans that play the spirit that can give indestructible selfless spirit. This is one of the better board wipes for those against those decks. Then Tamiyo's Journal, yeah, 5 mana, colorless, generic. At the beginning of our upkeep we can investigate, and if we sacrifice 3 clues we can, yeah, we get a tutor actually. So pretty nice. Having a tutor in this deck is pretty awesome because we can go get our win conditions or a solution or whatever. Then Planar Outburst, second wipe, board wipe that we really need. Yeah, still a great board wipe. Then we're coming to our other win conditions. Jace, Unraveler of Secrets. For 5 mana 2 blue we get an awesome Planeswalker. He gives us card advantage. With his +1 ability he controls the board with the second ability, and he shuts down our player and our opponent with his ultimate, or at least he cripples him for yeah, he cripples him. Very nice Planeswalker. Then Ob Nixilis, yeah, control Ob Nixilis, it's almost an auto include. 5 mana, 5 counters on him when he enters the battlefield. He draws a card. It's a bit the same as Jace actually. Draws a card, controls the board, but in this case his emblem will definitely win you the game. Then Sorin, the one of the most powerful planeswalkers out there in my opinion. He gives you card advantage, he does damage on your opponent while he's doing that, and then the -X lets you also control the board, can get rid of planeswalkers as well, and actually the ultimate is something that I almost never use, like never actually. I did it once just to use it, but yeah, that's about it. Then something to beat the opponent with a bit, but yeah, Emeria Shepherd, 7 mana is quite expensive, but because we will be stalling the game, we won't. Normally we can cast her. It shouldn't be a problem. A 4/4 flying for 7 doesn't seem too exciting, but the landfall ability is, because whenever a land enters a battlefield under your control, you may return target non-land permanent card from your graveyard to your hand, and if it's a plains, it goes to the battlefield instead. Now, yeah, I do not have that many win conditions. I do have a few planeswalkers, of course, and those are my win condition. But yeah, when they die or whatever, yeah, I want to get them back some way, so I don't want to end up with all my planeswalkers dead and not have any other win condition anymore, so the Emeria Shepherd gets them back. It's not only the planeswalkers, we can also bring back the enchantments, the artifacts, or the creatures, like the Zorias, the Reflector Mage, or Baby Jace, or even a Pilgrim's Eye. Doesn't matter, the enchantments here, or the Imprisoned in the Moon, we can all get it back, and that's pretty powerful. Now, we're never gonna play her on the 7th turn, we're always gonna play her on our 8th land drop, because we wanna take advantage of it. I play all 2 copies because if one dies I can get back the other. And yeah, that's the reason why I play her. And she has a nice body on her evasion. You can go on the beatdown with her if your opponent doesn't remove her. Then for the mana base, we play 5 plains, 2 island, 2 swamp, the Shambling Vent, all 2 copies, then the Sunken Hollow, 2 copies, the Prairie Stream, 2 copies, Drowned Catacomb, 2 copies, the Isolated Chapels, 2 copies, the Glacial Fortress, 2 copies, and still 3 copies of the Evolving Wilds. That's not really to thin the deck out because I kinda like my land drops, but it's also for mana fixing. And that's the deck for you guys. Now if we're going to take a look at the curve, bit of weird curve there, but yeah, it's a game that goes for the long run, so it's an okay curve. We can defend ourselves early game and hope to get our win conditions on the board later in the game. And that's it, guys. That's the deck that you will be seeing a lot of, so I hope you like Control. Now if you subscribe to my channel, I don't think that this kind of deck is a big surprise for you that I will be playing, because I am a Control player. If you wonder why I don't play any counters, that's because, yeah, I just don't like to play counters. I don't like playing against a counter deck, and I don't like playing with counters. Now I do see the advantages of counters, don't get me wrong there, but for me it's too much of a decision what to counter, what not to counter. It's just make it more complicated for me. I'm gonna keep it simple. Just gonna try and get rid of everything that's on the board. So that's my game plan. So anyway, guys, I hope you will be following me through the entire tournament for as long as it lasts. Check out the forums for more information, and I hope I see you guys at those videos. See you then, guys. Bye bye, have a nice day.